Hi guys, Mark here. Welcome today to my 1,000-mile update review on my Royal Enfield Hunter 350. Stay tuned and I'll let you know my thoughts on it. So I'm just going to talk to you about my Royal Enfield Hunter 350, how I found it over the sort of 6 months or so that I've owned it. I've just turned over the 1,000 miles, so I thought I'd put together this little update video for you all, just to let you know how things are going, the sort of running costs, what I like about the bike, and so on. So first off, the engine on this, it may only be 20 horsepower, but it is super smooth. It's got a glorious sound. It just sort of thuds along. It's just perfect for pottering around, you know, the sort of country roads around here in Dorset where I live. It's kind of my go-to bike, this one, for short hops around the countryside and doing some shopping and things like that. So it's absolutely perfect for those sort of shorter trips, shall we say. But that being said, I have been out on it for, you know, a couple of hours, done 2-hour rides, 100 miles, no problem at all. So the first service was carried out. It's not an expensive bike to service. Everything was good. All the oil was changed, the filter, the valves were checked, and they were all in spec. They didn't need adjustment. Some of these engines do need adjustment at the first service, but this one was absolutely fine with no adjustments needed. So I was personally going to go for the classic 350 first of all. Then I heard about this Hunter, and I chose this bike personally because I just like the looks of it a little bit more. It's a little bit sportier than the Meteor and the Classic to ride, and it's just kind of a bike that fits me personally for what I need, really. But that being said, the Classic 350 and the Meteor are both brilliant bikes as well. So I've had this bike just under about 6 months now. I got it just before Christmas. I've ridden it right the way through winter time in all the sort of salt encrusted roads. I've washed it about 20 times, given it some ACF 50 treatment, and just looking around the bike, it's all holding up very well. All the nuts and bolts here, nothing's corroded nastily. It's all, you know, quite impressive. So that's good. You know, I was expecting maybe it to be a little bit rusty here and there, but looking around the bike, you know, it all is generally holding up very well. A little bit of sort of tarnish there, but you know, a little bit of auto sole would solve that, no problems whatsoever. I have fitted these bar end mirrors to it. I think they really look the part. They're from Tech Bike Parts here in the UK if you're interested. I wasn't over keen on the standard mirrors that came with the bike. I found the standard tyres. They're made by Sayat, it's an Indian make. Found them to be very good, wet and dry. No plans to change them at all. I'll use those till they wear out. Fuel consumption, very good, as with all of these 350 engines. I'm averaging about 85 miles per gallon UK. The best I had was about 92 on a long sort of gentle run one day, 92 miles per gallon, but generally it's around about 85 miles per gallon, and I get around about 200 miles to a tank full. Now when these get low on fuel, the fuel warning light flashes at you quite early, so don't panic. You've still got at least sort of 50-60 miles left in the tank. So it's all very basic, this bike. It's very simple. That's the beauty of it. Front suspension absolutely fine. It's nice that it's got these rubber gaiters to protect the forks. Rear shock absorbers, like a lot of the Royal Enfields, they are pretty stiff. It does give it quite a sporty ride. I haven't found it to be a problem. I just thought I'd let you know that they are quite firm at the back there. So the engine's on 1,000 miles now. It's getting nice and sort of running. It's nice and loose. It will hold 70 miles an hour indicated all day with a little bit left to go. So it's plenty fast enough for what I need, you know, for just sort of round here for pottering about on. I found this seat to be nice and comfortable, so I have ridden it for 2 hours without stopping, no aches or pains. That was about 100 miles, so and absolutely fine. I have taken a passenger on it as well, and they were fine on the back, so that's all good. The fuel injection is super smooth. It's not snatchy or anything like that. It's got a very gentle, soft, mellow throttle response. Round town, all that sort of stuff, it's perfect. It's super smooth. We'll go for a test ride in a minute, and I'll just show you that. So, basic bulbs on the lights. It's an LED rear light. The standard halogen bulb at the front there is actually better than I thought it would be. Night riding is good. Lights are plenty bright enough for this type of bike, really. Problems? Absolutely nothing whatsoever. It rides better now than new. So all in all, very happy with it. You know, it's a joy to ride. It's just, you know, incredibly good value for money. I think the price on them, they're still around about the £3,800 mark on the road, which is exceptional value. I've ridden it on lots of motorways, dual carriageway trips, and it holds its own absolutely fine. We'll go on a dual carriageway a bit later on. Single disc on the front by Brie, single disc on the back. Again, adequate performance, not amazing, but again, for this type of bike, does the job fine. So the engine, what it sort of lacks in top end power, it makes up for in torque. It's got a beautiful spread of power from the low end. Really picks up nicely with an absolutely charming sound from that exhaust. So it's just a lovely bike to ride, really. Some people fit like panniers and a backrest, things like that. You can fit little sort of headlight cowl there, little fairings, but apart from the mirrors, I'm going to leave it as standard. So that's it, guys. Let's go for that test ride, shall we? So welcome aboard my Hunter 350. So things I love about this bike: the engine. It's super smooth, it's full of character, it sounds great, and it's just a charming bike to ride. You know, here we are in 5th gear, top gear, just bimbling along at about 50 miles an hour. The engine doesn't feel stressed, it's just ticking over at about 4,000 revs, I'm guessing, and it's just lovely. It's a lovely place to be. Seat's comfortable. The seat on these is pretty low. I'm only 5'7" tall, 170 centimeters, and I can get my feet down flat to the floor with knees bent. So if you're a new rider looking for a nice little bike which isn't too big or heavy, definitely give one of these a look. So these are bar end mirrors. They're very clear by Tech Bike Parts. Very pleased with those. It's a similar riding position to the classic 350. Obviously the Meteor is a cruiser with feet forward, raked back position. That's a lot more comfortable, but this is generally very comfortable, no problems at all. It's a nice leg position, happy with that. Clutch and gearbox, very smooth, never had a problem with this at all. Very nice to use indeed. So front and rear brakes are pretty strong. Put them on now, front and rear together. As you can see, it pulls up reasonably well. Second gear, just winding it out into third, fourth, and it hits an indicated 60 miles an hour, no problem at all. We'll try it on a dual carriageway in a bit, but it will sit like this all day. Never any problems with heat from the engine. Really good. wind blast is about what you'd expect on a naked bike. It's a very sort of steady blast hitting me in the chest now, so no problems with that. I found the front forks to be very nice. Nice plush ride at the front, well damped. Rear is a bit on the firm side, but not a problem, and it sort of adds to the sporty flavour of the Hunter. I found all the switch gear. It's all very simple. You've got your A and B trips, odometer. It's all very clear. Speedo, fuel gauge, clock. All the basic info you need. It's nice that it's got a gear indicator as well. Okay, just coming on to a dual carriageway now on my Hunter 350. I just want to show you that despite its modest power, it can still hold its own reasonably comfortably on a dual carriageway or motorway. So a bit of a headwind at the moment, and I'm showing an indicated 70, and bear in mind these Speedos are quite accurate, and it's holding that absolutely no problem at all. I've actually got about a quarter throttle left, and it will do about an indicated 80, so I've been told. But as you can see, guys, we're actually going to have a bit of a hill now. It's holding 70 miles an hour absolutely fine with a little bit of throttle left, and at this sort of speed the wind blast is absolutely fine. It's very stable, and the engine doesn't sound overly stressed. This is actually sort of the sweet spot of this engine when it's like this. It sounds really like it's on song. If we just slow it down a little bit, 65. That's absolutely lovely. So just wind it open. There's your 70 indicated, and it will creep up to a bit more, but it does actually hold 70 mile after mile with no problem whatsoever. Sort of 55 is a really nice speed in the countryside, just taking it all in. So there they are, guys. I hope that shows you what the Hunter is like at the slightly higher speeds. It is quite capable. So I'll just show you fourth gear now, winding it open. There's wide open the throttle in fourth gear. There's your 50, and there's your 60, and we're into fifth. But even at the higher revs, there's just virtually no vibrations at all. All you can feel is just a nice sort of soft thump coming from the engine. Enfield have really done a good job with this 350 engine. The bike is physically, it's quite small really. It's like, I always call it like a beefed up 125 really. And it really is a nice size. So if you're new to bikes, or you know you're not a big person, I'm not big at all, it just fits me nicely. I think if you were a 6 foot person, there's still plenty of leg room here, so it'd still be okay, but on the whole it is quite a small bike. Weighs in at around about 180 kilos, so it's a fair bit of weight, but it's very stable. It's easy to push around. So size wise it's just not nice. Right, we'll just slow it down to nothing behind. We'll just slow it down a bit, so just sort of simulating going through town. Fourth gear, just over 30 miles an hour. The engine is super smooth. There's no hunting or surging in the fueling, so it's a really nice bike for low speed running. Down to third, just going to wind it open. Very easy gear change and a nice light smooth clutch. Can attack the bends with it nicely, holds its line well. But it's just, if you're looking for a bike just for sort of cruising around on, taking it easy in the countryside, it couldn't be better. Going down the gearbox is very smooth as well. So we're fourth gear at the moment, just going at quite a steep hill now, and it pulls very well up a hill. There you go, look, there's a 60 miles an hour up a hill with a bit more to go. Just one of those lovely little machines that makes you smile when you ride it. And we'll wrap it up down here. So that's just the front brake now. That's absolutely fine. So on tick over, it just thumps so lovely. Listen to that. I have got a video of the sound on this, so if you want to take a look at that. So it's just got basic bulbs in the indicators and the headlight. Nothing to write home about, but absolutely adequate. A few people have said to me, what's it like to put on the centre stand? It is quite heavy. You've got to get it just about right. So holding the bar here, holding the back grab rail, a big sort of push down and a pull back at the same time, and it comes up reasonably easy. It's nice and easy to push around as well, so that's good. So there you are, guys. There's my Royal Enfield Hunter 350. I'm super pleased with it. I've got no plans on selling it. It's just my go-to bike for short trips, going to see friends, going to do some shopping, all that sort of stuff, around this Dorset, south of England, where I live. And as I said, I'm very impressed. There's nothing really about the bike that I don't like at all. It just fits the bill for what I need, and it's holding up very well indeed. And I'm pleased with its performance. All the fixtures and fittings are all still looking good, and that's through a nasty British winter. Anyway, guys, please give me a like. Don't forget to share and subscribe to my channel. Post all your comments down below as always, and I shall see you on another review in a week or so. Bye for now.